The lost city of Atlantis, myth, mystery, and the quest for a forgotten world. For thousands of years, the name Atlantis has haunted the human imagination. The idea of a mighty civilization that once flourished, only to be swallowed by the sea in a single day and night of catastrophe, is one of the most enduring legends of antiquity. From philosophers and explorers to mystics and modern archaeologists, Atlantis has sparked endless speculation. Was it merely a parable invented by Plato, or could it have been a real place, a lost civilization whose ruins now lie buried beneath the ocean waves? In this article, we will journey through the origins of the legend, the historical interpretations, the archaeological searches, and the modern fascination with Atlantis. By the end, you may find yourself asking the same question as so many before you: could Atlantis have truly existed? Origins of the Atlantis story. The very first mention of Atlantis comes not from explorers or sailors, but from the philosopher Plato around 360 BCE. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Plato describes a vast island empire that lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, an ancient term for the Strait of Gibraltar. Atlantis, according to his account, was larger than Libya and Asia combined. It was a land of great wealth, fertile plains, powerful kings, advanced technologies, and magnificent temples. The Atlanteans were said to have descended from the god Poseidon and a mortal woman named Cleito. They built a great city of concentric rings of land and sea, adorned with bridges, canals, and walls gleaming with precious metals. At the center stood a grand temple to Poseidon, its walls plated with orichalcum, a legendary metal said to shine with fiery red light. But, as Plato wrote, the Atlanteans grew greedy, corrupt, and power-hungry. Their ambition led them to wage war against much of the known world. Only the ancient Athenians stood firm against them. Then, in one terrible night of fire, earthquakes, and floods, Atlantis sank into the ocean, disappearing beneath the waves. Plato's account ends abruptly, almost as if left unfinished. Yet this brief tale has stirred centuries of debate. Did Plato invent Atlantis as a moral allegory about hubris and the dangers of imperial ambition? Or was he recording a fragment of lost history passed down from Egyptian priests, as he claimed? Atlantis as allegory. Many scholars believe that Plato never intended Atlantis to be taken literally. Instead, they argue that the story was a parable designed to highlight the dangers of greed, arrogance, and unchecked power. Plato lived during a time when Athens had recently suffered defeat in the Peloponnesian War. His Atlantis tale may have served as a warning that even the mightiest empires can collapse when they stray from virtue. In this interpretation, Atlantis was never real, but rather a philosophical device. Still, the richness of detail in his account, geography, culture, politics, has led many to wonder if it was based on older traditions or real memories of lost civilizations. Early searches for Atlantis. From the Renaissance onward, explorers, scholars, and dreamers began searching for the lost city. As Europe expanded across the oceans, the discovery of the New World fueled speculation. Could the Americas themselves be the remnants of Atlantis? In the 16th and 17th centuries, writers linked Atlantis to everything from the Aztecs and Mayans to the fabled city of El Dorado. The idea of a drowned world resonated with biblical stories of the Great Flood, further blurring the line between myth and history. Theories on Atlantis' location. Over time, Atlantis has been found in nearly every corner of the globe. Here are some of the most popular theories. The Mediterranean hypothesis. Some scholars argue that Plato's description fits closer to events in the Mediterranean, such as the eruption of Thera, Santorini, around 1600 BCE. This volcanic disaster devastated the Minoan civilization, which was highly advanced in trade, art, and engineering. Could the Minoans have been the real Atlanteans? The Atlantic Ocean. Many believe Atlantis lies somewhere in the Atlantic, as Plato himself stated it was beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Possible sites include the Azores, Canary Islands, or sunken ridges on the ocean floor. The Americas. During the Age of Discovery, Some suggested that Atlantis was not a lost island, but the Americas themselves. The grandeur of the Mayan and Incan civilizations fueled comparisons. Antarctica theory. A more modern theory proposes that shifting ice and continental drift buried Atlantis under Antarctica's frozen wastes. Proponents cite old maps, such as the Piri-Reis map, as evidence. Other exotic theories. Atlantis has also been linked to the Caribbean, the Sahara Desert, and even extraterrestrial origins. Each claim reflects more about human imagination than proven fact. Atlantis in literature and culture. The myth of Atlantis has inspired countless works of literature, art, and fantasy. Renaissance thinkers like Francis Bacon imagined it as a utopia of science and wisdom. Romantic writers in the 19th century turned it into a symbol of lost golden ages. In the 20th century, Atlantis entered popular culture through novels, films, comics, and even conspiracy theories. Writers like Jules Verne and H.P. Lovecraft wove it into their tales. Modern movies and TV shows continue to depict Atlantis as everything from a futuristic underwater city to an alien outpost. Archaeological explorations. Despite centuries of searching, no conclusive evidence of Atlantis has ever been found. Archaeologists argue that if such a vast civilization had existed in the time Plato described, there would be clear traces. Instead, what we do find are echoes, ruins of great but real civilizations swallowed by disaster. The discovery of Troy in the 19th century shows that legends can hide kernels of truth. For Atlantis, many look to the Minoans, whose palaces at Knossos and Akrotiri reveal advanced architecture, plumbing, and art. Their sudden collapse due to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions mirrors Plato's tale. Still, others hold out hope that beneath the seas, hidden ruins may yet await discovery. Advances in underwater archaeology and satellite mapping continue to fuel the search. Spiritual and esoteric interpretations. Atlantis is not only a subject of historical speculation but also of spiritual belief. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, mystics like Helena Blavatsky and Edgar Cayce claimed Atlantis was home to a spiritually advanced race, masters of lost technologies like crystal energy and psychic powers. Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, predicted that parts of Atlantis would rise again in the 20th century. While these predictions never came true, his visions continue to inspire New Age movements and alternative history enthusiasts. Scientific skepticism. Most scientists dismiss Atlantis as myth. They argue there is no geological or archaeological evidence of a continent suddenly sinking beneath the ocean in human history. Earthquakes and tsunamis have destroyed cities, but not entire continents. From this perspective, Atlantis serves as a powerful myth rather than history and allegory with enduring appeal. Why Atlantis endures? Why does Atlantis still capture the imagination after more than 2 millennia? Perhaps it is because it speaks to universal human themes. The fragility of civilization, even the greatest empires can fall overnight. The mystery of the sea, the ocean, vast and largely unexplored, seems the perfect hiding place for lost worlds. The dream of utopia, Atlantis represents both human greatness and human folly, a mirror of what we are and what we might lose. Atlantis is more than a place, it is an idea, one that invites endless exploration. Conclusion, legend or reality. In the end, the lost city of Atlantis remains suspended between history and myth. Whether it was a moral fable, a memory of real disasters, or the echo of an unknown civilization, Atlantis continues to inspire explorers, scientists, and dreamers alike. Plato may have intended it as an allegory, but perhaps he also tapped into something deeper, the longing for a forgotten golden age, a world lost to time but never forgotten in human imagination. Until conclusive evidence is found, if it ever is, Atlantis will remain what it has always been, a symbol of mystery, wonder, and the eternal quest for the unknown.